If you like fancy sex Altoids and AI that kills people, then look no further. I got the two best stocks hot off the press. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that was a little uncalled for. Today, HIMS and Palantir were explosive, okay? Like my diarrhea. HIMS was up 13%. Palantir was up 7%. That's kind of insane for one day. Now, granted, the S&P 500 was up like 2%, 1.5%. So it was a good day in the market. But these stocks especially outperformed a lot of other stocks in the market today. The non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate came in. It was a bit better than everyone was expecting. And so the market really took off with that news. Performed pretty well. Now, both HIMS and Palantir performed super well today because they're both reporting earnings after hours on Monday. Now, this begs the question, am I buying these stocks into earnings? Let's start with HIMS, okay? So HIMS today, I did actually buy some. I had a little bit of cash, and HIMS, in my opinion, still feels undervalued, even at $41, which was, I think the high of the day was $41.09 or $41.10. And so even at $41, I feel like it's undervalued. In my opinion, this stock should be between $60 and $80 a share. That's not based on any technicals. That's just vibe trading. That's trademarked, by the way. I'm joking. You can look at their technicals if you want. I did a video on them yesterday. Actually, I uploaded it. So if you're curious about HIMS, you can kind of go look at that video and see why I'm bullish on HIMS. Just a quick look here at the revenue. 1.48 billion for the year of 2024, which is a 69% increase year over year. And they have 2 million subscribers, or 2.2 million subscribers. To be honest, I'm not sure what this stock is going to do into earnings. SoFi and Hood had a beat on their earnings, and they both kind of fell flat. SoFi even sold off a bit. Heck, even Reddit pumped like 18% after hours because they had really good earnings. And then the CEO says something, stock opened up even lower than yesterday. So you never know what's going to happen with earnings or on the earnings call. I wouldn't trade earnings unless you like to gamble and you're a degenerate. But buying HIMS at $41 is what I'm all about, especially for a long-term play. In my opinion, I really think they're going to kill earnings this quarter.
Sorry, little one.
Mainly because this is a quarter that followed the Super Bowl commercial that really got them on the map, got a lot of investors interested, and I really think they're going to come out with great earnings this quarter and next. I mean, we recently just had this Novo Nordisk news where they're going to start distributing Wegovy through HIMS. And so that's going to be a huge cash cow moving forward. And so I really don't see this stock slowing down, at least this year. We were just at $70. That was our all-time high, was like $72, $73. And that was right after the Super Bowl commercial. And so in my mind, we could definitely get there. I personally think we're going to be kind of above that within the next year or two. But that's very bullish. And if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen with the stock. But from a long-term point of view, this stock could be hundreds of dollars over the next decade. I mean, I think they're going to kill earnings this quarter. Am I trading it? Maybe with a tiny bit of capital, but nothing crazy that will break my bank if they fall flat, which I really don't think they will. Now let's talk about Palantir. Okay, Palantir was trending a ton over the last year because it ran up from like $24 to kind of the same as HIMS. It ran from like $7 to 20, and then 20 to 80, and then 80 to 125. Like every time it has reported earnings over the last year, it's pumped an insane amount. I'm not going to do a deep dive on Palantir in this video. I might do another video where I explain my thesis on Palantir. But basically, Palantir uses AI to do a lot of things. The best way I can understand it, I don't understand everything about their company, but the best way I can understand it is that they use AI to really create efficiency within a company. And so they're able to optimize a company, their procedures. They basically use AI to make a company better, more efficient, better overall. They also do a lot of military and drone stuff. Now, this could be alarming to a few, but from a long-term investing point of view, from a bag holding Brad point of view, I really think it's going to be a great stock to hold over the next decade. They've been winning contracts, especially with the government, over this last quarter. I think they won a contract with ICE and then a few other things. Most recently, a contract with NATO. I think that falls under Q2, if I'm not wrong, though. But either way, they're probably going to report really good earnings. And if we kind of look at what they've reported before, I mean, last year, their revenue was at almost $2 billion, which is a 38% increase from last year. If we look at the quarter itself, $558 million, which was a 52% increase from last year's Q4, and then a 12% increase from Q3. And then they split it up with U.S. commercial and then U.S. government. And so I don't really need to go over the business itself. I'm mainly interested in what's going to happen with earnings and whether it's a good time to buy now or not. Now, I do own both HIMS and Palantir. More HIMS than Palantir at this point. In my opinion, I think this quarter Palantir is going to kill earnings.
I'm sorry, little one.
It's just hard to say what the actual stock is going to do. It ran up to almost all-time highs today. It ended off at $124.28, $124. After hours, $124.56. Their all-time high is, I think, 125, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, hold up. Yeah, 125, or maybe it's more, 124. So basically, we're at all-time highs with Palantir. You can see this crazy stock chart. I bought some Palantir right here. I kind of opened my position right here. I just didn't have a lot of cash right here, but I wanted to buy it so bad. Doesn't matter. In my mind, this stock is a potential 5 to 10 year play as well. Basically, Palantir is already at all-time highs. The S&P 500 isn't even at $5,800 yet. And so we have a lot of room to run up with the overall S&P 500, and Palantir is already up at all-time highs. I think people are front-running the stock, but it could tank on bad or even decent earnings. And when I say tank, basically just tanking from all-time highs. I mean, it would probably go back down to like $80, $90. I don't think it would go past 80, to be honest, unless the overall macro is bad. So it's hard to say. Palantir has a ton of potential for a long-term play. I'm holding it for 5 to 10 years, so to me, $125 really isn't. I mean, it's expensive for my overall budget, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad value to get in or a bad price to get in, even though it's at all-time highs. I know that sounds super crazy, but like I said, long-term mindset could be $500, could be $1,000 one day. You never know. If you wanted to wait for a better position to enter in, you would just have to wait for the next dip. I don't know if that could be this earnings or next. And we're at the very beginning of the AI revolution. It's hard to even say who the next, the big AI player could be in the next 10 years, 20 years. I mean, it could be Costco for all we know. I'm just kidding. But it's such a new industry that it's, Palantir is at the front of it right now. I do think that they have potential to be the biggest competitor in AI, but that's also like, who knows? Who knows in 10 to 20 years what it could be? I just have a long-term thesis for it. And so both of these stocks are great growth stocks. HIMS is undervalued. Palantir is what people say overvalued. And so overall, you just have to understand that these stocks are both volatile. And so I see a 5 to even 20-year thesis for both of these companies. But if you can't, then just day or swing trade these stocks, and then you can at least have some exposure. Or you could buy some calls, see if it goes up, and then purchase the shares at a lower price. That's also a good play. And then, that way you're in the stock without actually being in it until you have that conviction that the stock is going up. Anyway, amazing day for both of these companies. I am a shareholder of both of these companies. I am not telling you guys to buy it. I'm just sharing what I like about both of these companies and what I think is going to happen going into earnings with the stock. But let me know what your predictions are, if you think both companies are going to either beat or miss, and whether you think they're going to pump or sell off.